Joseph here. This is 339 International Emergency Foods, Emergency Water, Lost Homemade Recipes, and more. Now this book, it'll come in handy when you're out of regular food that you buy from the grocery store. Because if something happens, I'll tell you what's going to happen, especially in very densely populated areas. And it's happened before, even with minor stuff going on. Like there's a snowstorm coming in, and everybody knows it. There's a run on the stores. You go to the store, and there's all kinds of people already leaving and stuff, and you're late, and the shelves are practically empty. That not only goes for food, but goes for supplies. You know, shovels, generators, all that stuff, okay? Now, if something very serious was to happen, it's going to be even worse. So you got to know about these. I talk about these emergency foods, emergency water, and lost homemade recipes, because one thing you do need to survive is food and water, plain and simple. And a gun might help too, but we're only going to focus on a gun and on food and water for right now. Let's go to the table of contents. Now I'm going to talk about a few of these that you can use right now. And the first one is 300,000 plants on Earth, and there's an edibility test for all those 300,000 plants. Underwater, under the oceans, on the oceans, on the ponds, on fresh water, on the land, underground. There's plants all over the place. And experts estimate at least a third of those plants are edible to humans. Okay, to animals that's a whole different story. But let's take a look at it real quick, just to prove it to you. Yeah, sorry about that. Okay, I'm going to scroll down real slow. You can read the edibility. You can play it back. You can read it for yourself. This is the edibility test. Now I say for plants, but you can use it for anything you put in your mouth, anything you want to consume, liquid form, okay, insect, small game, whatever it is, fish. If you're going to put it in your mouth, do an edibility test, and this is it right here. Okay, and there it is, step by step. So that'll tell you right there. On the bottom of the food chain, there are plants. The bottom of the food chain, there are plants, and there's plenty of plants. So those plants are food. May not be a cheeseburger, but they're plants. Okay? So you can go ahead and play this back and copy down if you want. That's the edibility test. Okay, let me go back to the table of contents. Let's scroll down the table of contents so you know you're getting your money's worth. Okay, I'm going to stop at another one here pretty quick. African victuals, algae uses, all-purpose lichens, Amish emergency food, ants fall to light, Apache food, Apache starvation diet, Aztec fat food, Aztec salt procurement, bulb water, that's a big tree in Africa, barrel cactus emergency water. And it's not like you think where you're going to open it up and there's plenty of water. There's water there, but in a different form. But it's liquid. Barrel cactus navigation and more. Related subject. Bird nest soup, black pudding, blood and milk food, blood stew, bloody thirsty remedy. And I'm talking about blood. Blood is an alternative food source. It's a perfect food, as a matter of fact. Because when you're eating and everything gets into the blood, it goes to the blood system. That's how your body feeds itself. It goes to all, your blood goes to all parts of your body with all those nutrients. Anyway, say you're out in the middle of nowhere, like in the ocean. Well, Bombard here, there's Bombard. He's an expert. He's a deliberate castaway. People think you can't drink salt water. Well, you can. Not gulping it down, but there's a certain amount of salt water you can drink. And I'll show you in this ebook several other ways you can get not only water but food. Okay? Buffalo Bill, badass guy in his days. And I talk about cabbage. It's a good food. You can dehydrate it. You can can it. But I tell you about my cabbage bandage remedy. I just wanted to throw that in there real quick. Okay. Catching ants. That's a good food there. Let me see. I wanted to go to. So you got Civil War survival tricks with respect to getting food and water. Congo dual fishing lure. This is international, mind you. And just because I give you survival tricks over a continent over doesn't mean you can't use it over here. You just got to tweak it. Okay. Dandelion coffee, dandelion tonic, dandelion wine. Okay. Hold on. Let me go back here. I missed it. Let me go back to. Here it is. Coconut survival. I tell you what, if there's one thing you want to put in your backpack, after you read this, if there's one, I'll give it to you real quick. One thing you want to put in your backpack, it's a coconut. Okay? There it is. You can play it back. You can pause it. And in my videos, I show you coconut. I still got samples here that are, I don't know, 7 years old, and I still go back and I check on them. I eat the coconut, and I check on it, and I use it for fire starting. Coconut's great for emergency fire starting. I'm telling you, it's got little fireworks to it. Okay, there it is. Trying to make sure you get some. Even though you don't buy nothing, I'm trying to help you out here. Let me go back to where we were. Okay. There's some survival tricks by a guy named Dean. He's an expert in his own right. You read about his survival tricks, and I teach you ways to get emergency food. For example, here it is: the dolphin wave attack. Just copycat them if you can. You know. And there's Eric Robert Rudolph again. Some of his emergency survival tricks use it for food and water. Okay. And there's the Eskimos there. And Fertig. Fertig, during World War II, Colonel Fertig, he didn't give up. Him and his men, they just took off in the jungle and they started resisting the Japanese. And they lasted till the end of the World War II. And they got some amazing survival tricks you got to read. Okay, in my newsletters I give them all, but with respect to this ebook, this relates to emergency food and water here. Okay. Grass. Let me see here. If you think there's no food around, there's about 10,000 species of grass on the planet right now, okay? And here's some survival stories of grass, okay? You can read those. When the U-boats were just knocking the crap out of the supplies trying to get into the Great Britain in that area, they almost turned to eating grass for emergency food, okay? And to correspond with grass, well, you got grass seeds, okay? Too bad this thing doesn't go back to where I had it. Okay. And where are we at? Okay. Oh, let me go back this way. This is going to be a long video here, but it's worth it. Here's one I want to tell you about. Plenty of food. It's around you right now. Desert ant jerky. Okay? Bottom line here, if you can read this, ants. They're all around you. All you got to do is capture the ants, put them in a bag. You can suffocate them, they'll die in place, and you can put them in the sun and cook them a little bit and eat them. There you go. Okay? Now you might want to do a little edibility test. I always say when you do an edibility test, each person has to do an edibility test, because one person could just love the food while another person will go in convulsions over it. You know what I mean? So each person has to do their own edibility test. With respect to this one, ants. I don't know how many species there are. There's a lot of them, but they're all over the place all the time. Okay, even in winter months. Okay, let's go back here. And talked about Eric Robert Rudolph, Vertig. And you got some Girl Scout survival tricks there. Gulag, whatever is coming from the Gulag, you got to know about it. One of the harshest places on Earth. Hadzabe delicacy. I'm going to talk about more about those folks here in a little bit, I believe. I think. There's Herder and his survival tricks. Herder mud soup, Herder pemmican, Herder pond scum soup, Herder raw meat. Okay. Homemade marrow soup, homemade pie, homemade sugar, homemade syrup. Indian antelope lure, Indian appetite suppressant, Indian Gatorade, Indian well, Indian rat food. And you got Kephart. I talk about Kephart, who he is, world class. He's a legend in himself. I'm telling you, this guy's an expert of experts. And I talk about, I give you Kephart's emergency foods and water in this particular book. There's more that I put in my newsletters, but very worthy of your attention. This guy's literally been there and done that. Okay. And I give you my beef jerky recipe. And guess what I did again? I passed it. I wanted to give you this one. It is, here we go, right here, the Gladiator Superfood. Let's go to that, click it. Gladiator Superfood. Okay. You can read the story there, and it's barley is what it is. It's barley gruel. Okay. Loaded, absolutely loaded with vitamins, minerals, all that good stuff. Oh, by the way, grass. I forgot to tell you, grass is loaded. You won't believe it, but grass is loaded with nutrients too. You just got to make sure you ain't eating grass where they just threw a bunch of chemicals, you know. Anyway, that's Gladiator Superfood. You can read that, and I'm gonna talk about Zulu Superfood at the end if I don't forget about it. Let's go back to the table of contents. So just showing you the table of contents, talking about just a few of these, you know it's loaded. This book is loaded. I forget what I'm asking for it, but it's, and this is a digital copy, well worth your money. Okay, this took years to research, years to put together, and long-term grain storage, long-term vegetable storage. Let's see. Missouri dumplings recipe, moccasin food, moccasin soup. That's right, we're talking moccasins, the stuff you put on, you wear on your feet. Okay, you've heard stories about people eating their foot gear. Well, this is it, and it worked. Okay, you got to do something. Okay, and you got Mormon survival tricks right there. And I'm getting to here's a guy I want to talk about. Lieutenant Hiro Onada. Lieutenant Hiro Onada, He's one of the soldiers. Well, he was a lasting soldier. He lasted 30 some years. He still took on the fight after World War II. He didn't know the World War II was over. So in the Philippines, he just kept going, and he finally gave up in 1974, I believe. Yeah, I think it was 1974. He finally gave up. Oh, he didn't give up. He surrendered, and he just kept going. And I give you his own survival tricks right there. Okay, I gotta applaud Lieutenant Hiro Onada. Tell you what. Let's keep going. Okay, here's one I want to talk about. If you go in the woods, remember I told you about taking a coconut with you? Well, another thing you better take with you is a large jar of peanut butter. Matter of fact, they ship peanut butter over to third world countries, to the children over there that are really poor, that are starving, and that's what they feed them, peanut butter. It's loaded. They add one more ingredient in peanut butter because they have problems with their eyes. They go blind. So they add one more little ingredient in there. But peanut butter is loaded with nutrients. Okay, it's a meal in itself. Peanut butter. So if you're going to go out in camping, hunting, hiking, whatever, take a jar. In case you get in trouble, have a jar of peanut butter ready to go, and you got your coconut ready to go too. Okay, they're lifesavers. I'm telling you. And another thing I'll tell you about while I'm out, have a good, excuse my language, but have a good go-to-ship plan. Okay, say for example everything goes to crap. Well, you have a plan where you're going to do a certain thing so you can get out of trouble. And you might have what's called a go-to-shit azimuth. You put your compass. Hope you got a compass. You got to put your compass wherever you're at. Say everything goes to crap. You put your compass on a certain azimuth, and it'll take you to safety, no matter what. Daytime, nighttime, whatever. You've been out there 2 days, 3 days. You put your compass on this certain azimuth. You've already pre-planned it, and you go that route, and you get out of trouble. You may walk a few miles a day, or maybe a day and a half, but you're going to get out of trouble. That's your go-to-shit azimuth. Corresponds with your go-to-ship plan and your go-to-ship emergency plan package. I make these packages where you take it apart and it goes beyond the 8 elements of survival, which are fire, water, shelter, first aid, signal, food, weapons, and navigation. And you open that up, and there it is. Whatever your venture was, you were out there in the first place we're out there for, that goes to crap. Forget about it. Now you're in the survival mode. That's why you open this thing. I send you, well, if you're one of my full subscribers, you go to ship plan emergency package. You can make them yourselves. Just satisfy the 8 elements of survival and put all that other extra stuff in there to satisfy your mind. Okay? Now let's carry on with, got off the subject there. Let's carry on with penguin victuals, pine tree food, here we go. Pinion nut lifesaver. And I talk about this, and I think I'm the only one that's saying this. I did intensive research on the Donner Party. Okay, it's in one of my newsletters, and one thing that saved the Donner Party, because they finally sent out a group from the main body to go find help, and they just came within a blink of an eye of dying, until an Indian came up to him, feeling sorry for him, and gave him pine nuts. And if you don't know it, pine nuts are loaded with fat. Well, when those part of that Donner Party, the rescue party, they called them the Forlorn Hope, when they ate them pinion nuts, well, guess what? They got their second wind. So I say pinion nuts saved the Donner Party. You can read it right there. Okay? Okay, there it is. You can play it back, pause it, and go ahead and read it. Okay, let's go on. Let me go reverse here. Pioneer food storage, porcupine delicacy, potato crops, potato peels. I tell you what, I did a lot of research on potato peels, and it deserves a lot more. There's a lot of things going on with potatoes as far as besides eating them. a lot of stuff going on with homemade alternative therapies as far as healing. Okay, and I give you my power. There's my power bar recipe. I give that to you. Then here's some POW survival tricks with respect to food and water. Okay, prickle pear pads, prisoner cooking pot, pronghorn emergency winter food, pronghorn food, protein supplement, pumpkin plant, rat dinner, raw organ food. Okay, and there's Sage. I talk about old Sage there. He's got his own survival tricks. And Shackleton. I believe I talked about Shackleton before. If you have seen my other ebooks, I talk about Shackleton. He's got some emergency food survival tricks there. And there's old son of a bitch Stu and son of a gun Stu. Stubborn burrow survival tricks. You got to know those. You can learn a lot from them critters, I'm telling you. Vitamin O. Water from dry dirt. Water finding. Water rich Tusamo melons. I talk about wheat germ oil for afterburner performance. And here's that Zulu survival trick I was telling you about. Whey, the superfood. Let me show you that real quick. Okay. You can go ahead and read that. You've heard of curds and whey? Well, this is whey. You can play this back. And I give you a product there you might want to find at a health food store. Okay? Ultra whey protein powder. Okay, we're almost here towards the tail end. White oak plant, wild spinach, wild vegetables, a Zero pot foods preserver. That's very interesting. You got to read that one. You got to read all of these. Home emergency foods, subchoppy, worm grunting, and worm stick. If you want to get some worms, those are the two techniques right there. Absolutely guaranteed. Okay. And goose final approach. I had to put that in there too. Set it up and forget about it, and here come the geese. If you got geese in the area, here one's coming, I'm telling you. Okay? That's it for 339 international emergency foods, emergency water, lost home recipes, and more. I hope I didn't take too much of your time. This one is a big ebook. This is very worthy of your attention, no matter what you already know or don't know. Okay? I hope you go back and check out all the other ebooks. This is ebook number 16. There'll be number 17, and number 17 is going to be, I believe, I'm just guessing right now. It's 199 international Indian, Bushman, tribesman, Aborigine, survival tricks, and more. Okay, that'll probably come out in this. This is May, probably June. So that'll be another hefty one. Probably break 200, easy. Anyway, this is 339 international emergency foods, emergency water, lots of homemade recipes, and more. I hope you get this ebook, and along with my other ebooks. Again, I was going to say, go ahead and check out all the other ebooks, watch the videos again, and if you go on Amazon.com, if you're an Amazon Prime member, you can get all these ebooks for free. I believe you can loan them out for 30 days for nothing. They don't charge you nothing. Okay, that means I ain't making any money. Well, I am. I think they're paying me a lousy $1 for each book. But you don't have to pay nothing if you're a Prime member. Go ahead and check it out. Okay, I'll see you in the next video coming up in about a month or so. But like I said, go ahead and check all these videos out again. Thanks for watching all these videos. I really appreciate you taking your time watching these videos. Thank you very much.